The first thing on our agenda is to welcome and introduce our new members. So you want to start us off with that, Winnie?
Yeah, so we do have a new staff members that joined the SLT this year, as well as parent members. So maybe we just go around and introduce everyone, starting with Mr. Berman.
Sure. Hi, I'm Mr. Berman. They call me the principal around here. I try and do the best I can. And here we are. Thank you for being on our team and in advance for your contributions. It's been a great team in the past, and I expect it'll continue to be great. We do things for the school. We work on our budget and put forth some ideas for the CEP and anything else. So I'll stop talking now so we can introduce everybody.
Mr. File.
Yeah, hi, I'm Jeff File. I think I know most of the people, but not all. I'm the chapter leader and the dean. Been on SLT for many years, maybe 14, 15 years. So it's always been a nice committee. Hopefully we'll be meeting in person. We can have some donuts and stuff like that.
I'm Ms. Wong, and I teach special education here at McAuliffe. Missini?
I found this on the web. So I am Missini. I teach special education as well. I am a new member to SLT, and I'm very excited to be a part of it.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We're excited to have you.
Ms. Capiello?
Hi, sorry. Hi, I'm Sarah Capiello. I am also a special education teacher. This is my second year at Chris McAuliffe, and I'm a new member to SLT as well.
Great.
Okay.
Welcome.
Ms. Solomon?
Hi everyone, sorry, I'm going to turn my camera on in 1 minute. I just have the transfer devices. I'm Miss Solomon. I am a physical educator and I am a new member as well. I'm very excited for the new school year to be back in person and what we can accomplish together in this committee.
Welcome, Ms. Solomon. So that's all our staff member, and then we have some returning parent members. Hong?
Yes, this is Hong Tao. Yes, I'm a parent of a 7th grade. I think this year will be challenging and will be also very exciting year.
Thank you. Miss Madeline?
Hi, everyone. I'm Madeline Lagori-Link. This is my second year on the school leadership team. I am mom to an 8th grader, and I'm also the treasurer of the PTO. And I look forward to a great year.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have
Looks like she's having fun.
new parent members here. We have Miss Mui.
Hi, how are you guys? I'm Neil, and I'm here to learn, see what I can help. I currently have 2 boys in 187, so I'm glad to join. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Miss Mui. And last but not least, Miss Lamana.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Danielle Lamont. I'm a new parent member. My daughter is in 8th grade, and I'm excited about working with everyone and meeting some new goals for this year.
Awesome.
Great.
Thank you.
Welcome. And did we do Tracy Lay? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Miss Lay.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. I am Tracy. I have a 7th grader in McAuliffe, and this is my first time in the SLT team. I hope will be wonderful this year. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So so welcome to all of our new members, our staff, our parents. Like I said before, Mr. File mentioned it's been a great team. And we've been able to do some great things for the school. The SLT is generally charged with 2 things, developing the CEP and aligning that CEP with our budget. But we have used this venue to bring up anything that really concerns our school, our community, our children. So please feel free not to limit yourself to the CEP and the budget. But if there are things that you would like to bring to the table to discuss to share things that are affecting our community, ideas that you have. Ideas that you have, whether they be for goals or just ideas to make the school a better place. This is a great place to share them. I'll also tell our members, one of the things that we always share is that you never need to wait for a meeting to bring a concern that you have, especially if it's really super important. You know, reach out to any of us or anyone, and we'll make sure that, and if it's something that needs to involve the team and we need to work on something, we'll get everybody together quickly and we'll take care of it. So you don't need to wait a whole month for something to happen. Where, you know, certainly myself and Mr. File and Ms. Wong, as you know, our leadership team chair people, and we're always available. So with that, I think we should maybe just kind of move along with our agenda.
Okay, so Winnie?
Yes, so next up is just deciding when our meetings will be. Last school year, it was full remote. It was on Zoom, and we as a team decided on every second Tuesday of the month at 3 p.m. via Zoom. So, you know, it's up in the air right now, whatever works best for everyone. And that way we can have it, you know, preset so we all know when the dates will be.
I mean, is this a good time for everyone? Does this kind of work for people?
I'm sorry, I just have a slight issue. I have no issue with the day, whatever day works for me, Monday through Friday. It's just that between like 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock, it's crazy because I'm going to 3 different schools. I'd like to really just sit and focus on what we're talking. Is there any way to make it a little later, like 3:30? Is that too late for everyone?
You want to do it? Does 4 o'clock work for people?
That works for me also.
I mean, I think if we are remote, I think it certainly makes sense to do it later. I think if we're in person for our staff members, again, if we're going to keep it remote, then I don't think it really matters. We could certainly perhaps do it later, unless people are going to be stuck in the commute stage.
Well, for me personally, I live on Long Island, so if we were going to do 4 o'clock, I'd probably ask you if I could leave at 2:20, Zoom home, no pun intended, and then get on at home, so I'm not, you know, hitting the 5:30, 6 o'clock traffic and getting home at 8 o'clock.
Right. Well, I mean, a parent, what do you think, parents? What works for you?
Hi, it's Steve Chan. For
Hello,
me,
Mr. Chen.
hi, the
Welcome
reason
back.
I'm late today, in fact, was because I was picking up the little one over at the Leopards Park. So for me, like 3:15 would actually work great.
So after 3.
Yeah.
Right. So you want to say
Sometime
3:30? Well, we could do 3:30. 3:30 works.
Does it work for
Oh,
Mr. File?
Yeah,
If that works.
3:30, it's sort of like 3:30, I might just stay here and do it.
Right.
4 o'clock, I would definitely go home, but either way, 3:30, if that works better for people, I'll work it out.
Okay.
4 o'clock's a little more challenging. I'd have to ask you a favor to let me zip home.
Right. Well, let's see how 3:30 works out. If we need to adjust it a little bit, a few minutes here or there, we can. But as far as the day, the Tuesday, what is it, third? Well, this is actually the last Tuesday, but
The last one,
No, you
because
want-
of, we started late this year and then there was PTO.
do you want to keep it at the third Tuesday?
It's a second.
The second Tuesday.
Yeah. If
All right, well, if nobody has a problem with that, why don't you send out the dates?
Yep.
And then plug them into your calendars, folks. And if anything, you know, major arises, let us know, and we can adjust and adapt. We really want to work together on this and make it as available and convenient for everyone as possible. We know you're all doing this for the money, so you know. Well, by the way, if you didn't know, there is money involved. You get $10 an hour for 30 hours worth of work.
We're going to be rich.
Yeah. Certainly doesn't come anywhere near to provide any rest compensation for your time, but
Yeah, maybe someone should tell them that that's below minimum wage.
it's a little something.
Maybe someone should mention that. I don't know.
Well, it's literally
Equity.
it's why it's a stipend, Mr. File, a stipend.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. All right, great. So when you'll send that out to us, thank you very, very much.
You're welcome. And then we have next just first impressions of the new school year, back to in-person full time for everyone.
Yeah. Anything from the parents, from your kids, maybe some insights that might help us?
What's good, what's bad, what's, anything.
My 8th grader is just thrilled to be back in school.
Great.
He's very happy having to change classes, see his teachers, see his friends. It's going wonderfully, according to him at least.
That's fabulous.
How about you? How's it going according to you?
I think it's going well. He's much happier. The workload is not awful. He's, we're just 8th grade now, so we have a lot of other things to look at the moment. So it's a little hectic, but he's hanging in there.
Great. Are you getting into the high school process now? Is that
We are like the Catholic, the private schools. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Great. Anyone else? Parents, how's it going? What's good? What's not?
My 7th grader, he told me there's only one bathroom open in the first floor. He told me which is not convenient.
I love that.
Yeah, he said that it's very convenient. His homeroom is in 5th floor. And then he need to walk up and down all day long. That's what he told me. And
well, hopefully he's not going to the bathroom all day long.
I don't know. He says it's not convenient at all. That's what he told me.
That's true. I would agree. It's not convenient. Definitely not.
Is it okay because I know there's a 5th floor, right? Total is a 5th floor is okay for the school open in the 3rd floor bathroom instead only one bathroom, because maybe the kid need to line up to go to the bathroom or something like that.
No, there's no line. There's no line for there's no line for the bathroom. There's plenty of stalls.
Okay.
There's plenty. They're very large bathrooms.
So why the reason is only open only one bathroom in the
it allows us to control things very well. It allows us to keep things very, very clean and sanitary. And we're also a very small school. The bathrooms that we have on the 3rd floor, those are for our special education students and for the nurse. We have staff bathrooms, but the student bathrooms are on the 1st floor. It's been like that for as long as I've been here, which is coming up on 18 years now. So it works out well for us.
Okay, because I never went inside. I never go inside the school. I don't know how it's locked. So
come by and visit. But make sure you're vaccinated. Bring your card.
Yeah, I did. So
yes, but anytime you're a school leadership team member, anytime you want to come by, give me a call and come by and see the school.
Yeah, sure. So he told me only 5 boys in his class. I was so I feel so. Why is only 5 boys?
What class is he in?
Arts and humanities?
7, 11, yeah.
Yeah.
You're lucky he has 5. Sometimes there's only 2.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
So he told me there's over 31 students in the class, but it's only 5 boys. I said, really?
Yeah, he should consider himself lucky. Sometimes in arts and humanities, there are a lot of girls. I don't know why.
Okay.
Yes, in my son's class, also he's in art and humanity. He's a boy too. And 6th grade, they are like mostly distance, so they are mixed. And this year they are regroup. He found yes, there are very less boys. Even one boy moved to another class.
Yeah.
So, and but he thinks it's fine, And the most challenging first, I think, is for they have no a school bus now, and they needed to go to either by train or by bus themselves. So we stay with him for a couple of days, and I think now he get used to the route. And also I'm concerned if he wear a mask, the whole day, not every day.
Yeah.
But he said that the teacher gives breaks, and I think he's comfortable with what the break he can took, and I think everything's fine.
Excellent, excellent.
And just from my point of view, I've noticed that last year I used to leave here kind of not tired, but a little like down in the dumps because it was so quiet. There were only 70 or 80 kids here. It didn't feel anything like a school. And even in the class, there were only like 8, 9 kids, and they were so quiet, and like it was like you were talking to yourself. This year, we got kids running through the hall. I jumped out. I'm screaming at them. It feels like we're back to like, the energy of a school. The kids seem really happy. They're beginning to, joke around, and we're starting to learn how to understand each other in masks. So I think we've accomplished a lot in 2 weeks.
Me too.
Yeah.
How's your battle with the traffic going, Mr. Berman? And no, I know you have mentioned something to the day workers. The kids have to run through the gauntlet to get to the school.
Yeah, well, when I'm not there, the day workers kind of take advantage of that, and then they see me, and then when I get in, and they tend to scurry off. If I'm not in, if I'm at a meeting, or I have a doctor's appointment or something, I'm a little worried about that. Mr. File, maybe you could help me out with that, and use your extensive Spanish skills to help. I mean, I think I have a nice relationship with them, and I kind of, I treat them with respect, and I ask them, nicely, and they tend to be compliant when I ask them. The first day I called the police. They showed up, and that kind of let them know that we mean business.
Yeah.
And they tend to really be okay. As far as the traffic around the school, a great improvement. Really, it's been much better. And I'll kind of leave it at that.
I hope that the letter that Mr. Berman sent out had some impact.
I believe it did.
And
I like that. I like that letter that you sent out. It was very firm.
And believe me, I was discussing it, and he did a great job sort of tempering it, because we were very frustrated with what was going on. And I'm really on the positive side. It's improved greatly since then. So,
yeah, that was a collaborative effort between Mr. File and I, and we worked together well as a
yeah. But as far as the day workers, I've never had any issue with them at all. I understand, that you tell them to back off so the kids could get through.
It's a tight corner.
No, absolutely. But I think, as far as the driving, if you guys, as far as parents on the school leadership team, could just encourage parents to just, really think about other people. The big issue was a child got hurt, and just the cooperation just wasn't there. So I would hope that never happens again. I just think we're better than that. We've always been better than that. That was a little bit of a letdown. You could maybe write it off to people being locked down for a long time and not used to being out in the world like that. I don't know.
I think maybe the PTA should mention it too at one of their meetings, because the attendance in the PTA meetings is tremendous.
I'm sure Mr. LaBella will, but that's a great idea for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you for asking about that. It's a very big concern of ours. The two most dangerous times of the day, arrival and dismissal. Great. Other feedback? Anything else?
From a teacher standpoint, I could definitely
Yep.
say it's amazing seeing my students in the classroom. I'm in such a great mood because they're just so, I feel like they've been home for so long. So now that they're finally back in the building, they have so much to say and so much energy. And it's just really, really nice to have like my kids back in the building and, you know, they're learning, I'm teaching, and we're all interacting and they have their friends. And it's just, it's really, really nice. Everything's been amazing so far. So. Yeah.
Great. And I hope we're just, you know, just on the upswing and things are going to just continue to get better. Great. Thank you, Ms. Singh.
You're welcome.
And how are the sixth graders coming in this year?
I just from my point of view, I think unfortunately it's slightly immature, not their fault, maybe because they, you know, haven't been in school for a while. They're very nice and they seem to be trying really hard and they're, you know, really sweet, friendly, you know, high effort kids. But that's the only thing. We sort of have to get them back into, hey, you're in middle school. I think they did a jump from 4th grade to 6th grade.
Right.
So, you know, that's, you know, we'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
Oh, I feel I have the 6th graders this year. I have 6th grade class, and I feel like just implementing routine with them because they have been home for so long and stuck in their house. So just repetition, and I could definitely speak for everyone in the school. We're like very much on the same page as teachers, and we communicate. And our main goal is to get them back into, I guess you could say, reality of being in school. So yeah, they're cute.
Okay.
So I just have a question. I'm so sorry. I just wanted to know, how are parents being informed about COVID? I know last year with the blended model, we were receiving emails if there was a situation and we were being notified, but I don't think we're doing that, right?
Oh yeah, you'll absolutely be notified. We haven't had anything. In fact, the only issues we've had are with kids who've never come to school. You know, we have a student who had COVID and had to quarantine, but the child, that was from, you know, the end of August, child had never been in school. So we have not had any issues at all. Trust me, you will be informed and emailed and made aware of anything that would be of any concern or any exposure or anything like that.
And now there's been a change with the quarantine. Did that go into effect? They're saying they're no longer quarantining for 10 days. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. I think it's
so now
8 days now in certain cases.
So the child that is ill will just be at home until they're better, but the rest of the class will move forward, correct?
As long as they were masked and kept 3 feet apart.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
There's no real, I don't want to say there's no science to it since it's all supposed to be based on science, but it seems like it just moves around with a little bit of a random quality. And they need to be realistic too, because if you close all the schools then we might as well go back home, right?
But at the same time though, we've had the testing going on every week, and you know, people do the health screenings every day. We check all of that, and knock wood, so far everybody's been healthy in terms of COVID.
And student compliance is excellent as far as bringing in their health screenings and wearing the mask. You know, it's when a kid comes in my office, if I don't have the mask on, they look at me and I like throw it on real quick. It's like, they're better than the adults.
They really are. They're terrific. Really, it's a pleasure. It really is. We haven't had any non-compliant issues. Students don't want to, or why do I have? It's everybody's really been on board, and it's that part's been a pleasure.
Yep. So I have John Hederman here.
Great.
He's running around running NIA, but we've brought him into the mix.
How is everyone today? Just thought I'd stop in when I got a chance. Sorry I wasn't able to sit down for the whole thing today, but I am thinking of everyone. We've gotten started up with a smaller group, and we've just sent out letters to more than double in size for next week. We're trying to make sure we have room so that one of the trickiest things from what everyone was just speaking about is meals, so that we have to make sure we have space to keep all the students that are going to participate in the different activities. So if you are a parent that was still waiting to hear about getting in, just know that those are the concerns, and we're not just having all the students show up, because then it would be unsafe to follow all the rules. We are doing that as fast as we can. We just put out and we just cut off the application for the 8th grade SHSAT program. We have about half of all of our 8th graders will be participating in that, and we will be running that remotely this year, because we found that it worked very well for what we did last year, where they're all given the work and they're kind of working on their own. So it's not a problem for them, and there are 14-year-olds, so they do a great job of doing stuff like that. We're looking forward to possibly having some sports teams still this year. The running team is going to be sending out a letter to try to do that safely. Basketball seems to exist citywide, we're hearing. We're still waiting to find out. Mr. Kaplan, who's our theater director, has ideas for a drama in the fall and a musical this spring. And so we're talking about getting that going over the next month. Yeah, it's looking like the kids are keeping very safe, and we're hoping to just stay open and keep doing wonderful things for them. If any parents have any questions for me at all. No? Okay.
Yes, I would like to know what kind of program do we have? I heard about last time in the PDA, you have math competition program or debate club. Were you able to open those programs soon?
Yeah, we have the debate team. Will be meeting on Mondays, and we're trying to get the math. Mr. Ip wants to get a math team going. It's still kind of in the formative stages, but that might be another Tuesday and Thursday kind of thing. But we're still looking into how that's going to look exactly. But hopefully they will exist this year. Debate already does.
So I heard that my son, he's in the NIA program right now. He told me he's only allowed to pick 2 programs. Is it?
Per day, you can only have, there's only time for 2 classes per day. But so that gets you 10 different courses per week.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Yeah, because I want him to get in debate clubs to practice the oral debate skills. And then, yeah, I thought he did not.
No, we know they're 12-year-olds, and sitting and debating for an hour leaves them wanting to go play basketball and run around for an hour afterwards. So we make that available for them as well.
Thank you.
If I think debate, if you have, limitation for how much you can take for some groups, but maybe debate or other, they mainly talking and discussing, maybe they can take a distance case, the case online or to participate. I don't know if that could be an idea.
That could be a possibility if someone was unable to attend in person, but that would definitely be a case-by-case basis. So I would say reach out if that was the case.
Yeah, but we are very looking forward to this all exciting clubs. Yeah.
As are we all here as well. Okay, with that, I'll hand it back to Mr. File.
Thanks, Mr. Hederman. Keep up the great work.
Thanks, John.
No problem.
All right. Let's see. We're moving very nicely through this agenda today. PTO updates. Does anybody want to try to, fill Vito's shoes?
Hi, everyone. I have to talk low since I'm commuting home, but just that the membership drive is starting. We hope to get envelopes out to all the kids either this week or next week. And that's really our big thing. And we're trying to figure out what we can and can't do in the school. And just stay tuned. We hope to have some good activities for everyone.
Great, thank you.
The other thing I can update you regarding that is I know Mr. Labella was working with the Ford Amphitheater this week. They really are pushing for us to select a graduation date. The problem is that we don't know when the Regents exams are going to be offered. That said, other schools are already taking up dates at the Ford Theater. So what we did was looked at the calendar and took the latest date that we could find, and tentatively, and please, 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 not for public knowledge yet at this point, but we took 12 noon on June 23rd for the date of graduation at the Ford Amphitheater, which should be great. So I can update you with that. That is, of course, subject to change based on the Regents exam. And really for us, it's just the math Regents that we're concerned about. And we did look at the date of the Regents last year, the math Regents, and fortunately or unfortunately, it was on June 23rd. So you can look at it two ways. That date was the date that the math exam was on. Or you could look at it as, well, what are the chances of being on the same day twice in a row? Not that good, I guess. I don't know. So we'll see about that. That was the only other thing I think I would add from the PTO side of things.
Okay, thank you. Culturally responsive curriculum. Mr. Berman, you want to?
Sure. Well, I know Mrs. Siddiqui, who couldn't be here today, I know she was looking forward to sharing a lot with you regarding the changes, but hopefully parents, you got an opportunity to take a look at the ELA newsletter that Mr. Chechi and the hold on 1 second. That Mr. Chechi and the ELA teachers put together, and you'll see that there are a variety of new texts, both novels and short stories, that the teachers have selected. We're using some of the same books that we've used, some new books to try and expose the children to a variety of different authors and perhaps some different subject material. I was just reading something in an educational article which talked a lot about teachers and students and addressing controversial issues, and basically surveyed teachers, and they found that, you know, teachers were sort of in one of three places, which makes sense, sort of avoiding all controversial issues, somewhere in between, and sort of being a risk taker and, you know, delving into these things. And what they found was that some of the best instruction, which is really defined not just as test scores, but by looking at levels of engagement, levels of discussion, levels of questioning, falls somewhere in between the second and the third kind of a teacher. Sort of not the one who's willing to just bring everything to the table and just, you know, just have a smorgasbord of things, but perhaps in a slightly more controlled way. But the idea that there are issues of equity, equality, justice that students are concerned about, interested in, and important to our society are some of the things that we're trying to bring into our curriculum. So I think that is probably the focus that Mrs. Siddiqui would take in sharing the changes to the ELA curriculum. We're also looking at from a theory of action standpoint, which is some of the things the superintendent's asked us to work on in relation to, you know, school goals this year, and also our CEP are two things. Some of you have been here for a while, might remember the focus on oracy that we had, which is basically teaching children how to be good speakers in public, in different situations, whether they're talking one-on-one with someone, talking to a large group, talking to smaller groups, and really working on the skill of oral communication, which has become so important. I mean, which always has been important, whether it's in an academic setting, in a work setting, or really, if you think about it, with relationships with family members, with relationships with significant others, and so forth. So being able to be a good communicator is critically important. So we're working back towards that and bringing that back to the students. And related to that is the focus on vocabulary this year. Really making sure that, we go beyond just, understanding the academic vocabulary, but having students really delve in to some of the more technical vocabulary too for different subjects. So I think those things are going to be really interesting and exciting this year. And I look forward to getting some feedback from parents, particularly on some of the new texts. I would encourage you to read them with your children. Please don't take them at face value or simply read an Amazon description of the book and then make a determination. But really, I would encourage you to, again, really read, and not just you, but all parents, to really read these texts with their children, get into the ideas, the themes, whether they seem positive, negative, otherwise. One of the things I always read was a good piece, whether it's a book or a movie or something, makes you feel something. Now, it could make you feel anger, it could make you feel sorrow, it could make you feel some sort of joy or elation. Whatever it is, though, good pieces, whether they're writing or screenplays or TV shows or whatever it might be, they make you feel something. And I think the books that we have selected and the stories that we've selected are going to make the kids feel something. And that's really, really important. And that's what I think will really engage them.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something. I noticed, I used to teach social studies, and more recently I've taught law and debate and medical ethics and all these different classes over the years. And, it was always fun and challenging to get kids into like current events in the world and what's happening. And now a lot of kids, not all, certainly the sixth graders are still challenging, but like by eighth grade, a lot of kids are into it because of all the time they spend on the internet and how political it's gotten on places like TikTok. I'm not going to say Facebook. I know they're not on Facebook. And other sites that I don't even know about. And I noticed last year that, the interest was pretty intense. The only thing about it was because of, the way of the world right now, there's a lot of intolerance on both sides. It's very binary, okay? And kids, of course, fall into that because they're on the internet. So everything is one or the other. So I think a great role of the school when some of these issues come up is just to understand the complexity of things. That not, everyone who disagrees with you is a horrible person, and, the world is not so easy to understand. And, hearing what someone else from a different perspective has to say will only help you and help your perspective and opinion and feelings grow or change. Okay, keep an open mind. I hope that comes through in some of the new texts we're doing. Could bring up like issues going on in the world or in social studies, current events, because at least for, a small group of students, they were intensely interested in some of the things that were going on last year. George Floyd really is like an opportunity lost if we don't try to, challenge them to think and really make it part of school. So yeah, I'm thinking that, this is a positive and a good opportunity.
Yes, indeed. Parents, any thoughts And any concerns, any feedback?
My thought is that, I'm sorry.
You go
My
ahead.
thought is, okay, thanks. My thought is it's very important, and I told my own daughter that, you know, when you read a piece of text or you hear a teacher's opinion, right, reserve your own opinion for yourself. And, you know, you're entitled to not blindly follow what everybody says and believe everything that you read. And you have to form your own opinion on something.
That's a good point. And I want to bring something up too, and I know Mr. File, I think you'll agree with me on this. And you know, it's not the role of a teacher to share political opinions. In fact, I would argue that if the kids know your political party affiliation, you probably haven't done a great job. It was supposed to be in the middle. We're supposed to be sharing information. We're supposed to be helping children develop their ideas, not giving them ideas. And so I think that's really important, that they can make their own decisions with the proper information. I think the biggest part, one of the biggest things that I think we can teach children is how to get quality information and how to use that quality information from different sources to make real intelligent decisions about things. So yeah, and I know there was another comment about this as well. I think there was anyway.
Yeah, I think as parent, I really would like my kids have opportunity to discuss some of, you know, the social topics in school, but I feel I want it to be safe. And I also I know that some teachers and schools, they may have, you know, the teachers may have their own opinions. So it's sometimes I feel in one period of this year or last year, I feel it's not safe to say even your own opinion in class or in school. So I feel that you're right, if the teacher already take a side, maybe the kids also feel not, you know, he doesn't know if the teacher take this side or that side. But I still want my kids have opportunity to, you know, to share or to hear some people share this things, ideas. So maybe the teacher can let them give some facts or something they heard, you know, or, you know, participate some discussion. But I understand they cannot go too far or too much, because this might still, as adults, we are still, you know, and thinking and along what's happening, all the things. So, but I feel it's good. And also it's good to have kids have opportunity to discuss even small groups or you know, and the teacher take a mute in the middle side. And also I especially like the way that this year the ELA teacher gave the newsletter about you know, the different contents or themes they are going to teach. And I remember, I didn't look very carefully, but I remember the first theme, maybe like identity or things. I think that's very good. And I didn't remember before they have, or maybe before they have this, but I really like this newsletter things. And just to remind us, we should also participate maybe more deeper to read the books. But anyway, I like when I read, I feel very, very nice. Yeah, I want to thank for those teachers to choose those books. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And they did work together over the summer. We had teams working and they put that together. But
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you.
I mean, I always taught controversial issues. I always enjoyed it. I might even have been in that category that you thought was too much. Okay. You know, I never shied away.
Actually. Yeah, if you're frank, sorry. Yeah, it's good to share, you know, it's good to hear.
Yeah, no, I never shied away from those issues. And I actually, in some cases, did state my opinion, but tried to have a classroom where the kids felt comfortable disagreeing, which is not always so easy to do. But I encourage disagreement. And, you know, I just think there's certain issues that if you're going to talk about it in the class and remain like entirely neutral, it's difficult to maintain your authenticity, like what happened on January 6th, for instance, to just, you know, kind of soft, you know, play it. You know, I think the more important thing was to focus on, you know, the First Amendment and people's right to protest and when it went wrong, you know, like to really, you know, dive in a very substantive way. But, you know, we want the teachers to be human also. So the kids really sense the passion and the authenticity. And sometimes you will state your opinion in doing that. I just think it's bound to come out at times, you know? So, but, you know, it's very valuable for the kids to hear what's going on in the world and to feel comfortable to, you know, like Steve said, challenge people, have an opinion, say, hey, I disagree with you. You know, I spoke about that at home and, you know, my dad had a completely opposite take on that. And, you know, I think that makes for a really exciting classroom.
Yes, I feel it's good for if the school is open and teacher has open mind. It's very helpful for this situation.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Thank you.
I just wanted to chime in that, you know, one of the things we're doing in advisory that we started is, you know, working with the students in a small group and really encouraging them to share their thoughts, share their feelings and their opinions. And, you know, one of the, you know, first couple of lessons included like, you know, having them kind of decide, oh, do you agree or strongly agree or disagree or are neutral to certain things or topics, you know, that came up. So that is something that we have been starting with the advisory groups.
Thank you.
Just also important that while they're discussing their opinions, which I think is wonderful because everyone is entitled to an opinion, they should also be able to nurture teachers, especially the fact that we still have to maintain respect. I feel like somewhere along the lines that gets lost because people are so busy arguing about different opinions and they forget to be respectful of one another and still view the other person as just, you know, a human being. So I hope that that can get translated across to the children during all of this, you know, open discussion. Because it's a little frightening when you think some kids may react differently. And I think that's the part that parents worry about when the children are expressing their opinions.
That's a great point. You know, just, you know, civility does not reign on the internet when this stuff is going on. There's just people calling each other names. It's frustrating, and that's what kids are exposed to. And the kids are interested in it. My own daughter shows me stuff all the time that's like, it's good, she's interested, but it's very disrespectful of other people's opinion and other, you know, when all that was going on with George Floyd, she was showing me all these things where, you know, all cops are this and all cops are that. It's like, when did that become okay to, you know, label an entire profession or an entire race? But, you know, it's a great opportunity to really dive in with kids. So, but you're right, civility, respecting other people's opinions, it's like real core things for our school, I think. And the First Amendment, Mr. Berman and I do agree on that also, like that freedom of speech.
Yep. Got my Constitution right here.
Yep.
Hey, I know I've
Andy.
been censored a few times on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Winnie, don't do it to Steve here.
All right, so let's move along. What else have we got?
Hold on, I got to go to the COVID updates.
Well, teachers have to be updated, have to be vaccinated. Well, I can tell you parents that we're very, very fortunate here. We will have no issues at all. Everything will be fine. We will not be upset. I still have a few cafeteria folks, but I expect them to all be vaccinated. Yeah, so that's all good. We have the testing folks here every week. We have tons of PPEs. Mr. File mentioned how great the kids have been, really super compliant with their health screenings, wearing the masks. So, and and we haven't had any issues at all of COVID here at the school. And again, as someone brought up earlier, nothing has changed as far as the notifications. We will let folks know right away when there's an issue.
How can we predict what type of engagement the parents will have now, since parents also need to be vaccinated in order to participate, correct?
You mean to come to the school?
Yeah, and participate maybe in a parent engagement, or even, I guess, parent-teacher conference, right?
Well, parent-teacher conferences are going to be remote this year. The DOE decided that already. So
Okay.
all parent-teacher conferences are remote. And in fact, they're encouraging all meetings to happen remotely, if at all possible. IEP meetings can happen remotely, things like that. So yeah, the DOE has not changed their stance on vaccinated people. You have to have a vaccine, proof of vaccine to come into the school.
But not if you're just picking up your child, correct?
Oh yeah. If you're picking up your child, you cannot come into the building without a vaccine, without proof of vaccination. We'll bring the child down to you.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, but no one can come in the building without a vaccine card. I've sent quite a few people away. I've sent delivery folks away. They have lots of food. They said, well, we have a delivery. I said, well, we have a policy. You know, well, you know, you have a problem. I said, no, you have a problem. You don't have you're the one without the card. So it's serious business, and we're going to protect everyone. We're going to follow we'll follow the procedures as always, and they apply to everyone. Doesn't matter who you are. Gotta have proof of vaccine. Yeah.
As I understand, I see maybe it's already updated. I remember seeing somewhere said the parent at least get one dose,
Yes.
and also tested negative if they didn't get fully vaccine, right? Or so maybe some updates. I remember before I saw something about entering maybe a public building or public education building.
Yeah, I do believe that as long as you have the card with that shows that you have one dose, that's okay. For now. For now.
Then maybe,
that's going to change, I think.
Yeah, I understand that the first is fully vaccinated, right? Fully. Right. Then, as I remember somewhere I saw like a second, if we didn't get a chance to fully vaccine, maybe you only get one or whatever. If it later changes, you also get tested negative, like in 2 days or maybe 2 hours. I don't know the limit time. So maybe that's already updated. So that's why it's good to have parents know the most updates. Yeah.
Okay. Great. What else we got?
We already talked about arrival and dismissal. I think the only thing left on the agenda is the budget.
Okay. Great. Well, that's fun stuff. So yeah, our school budget this year, we have a lot of money. We have more money than we've ever had. If you have any ideas about ways to spend it, please let us know. Right now, we have about $850,000 to spend. There'll probably be more coming also. The only thing that we can't do is we can't hire, well, for a lot of reasons, but we can't hire a lot of staff. We can't hire a lot of staff because there aren't a lot of staff to be hired. And the other thing is the money that we have this year is not going to be there next year. So if we hired 5 additional teachers this year, we have to keep them. We can't just let them go and say, oh, thanks a lot, see you around. And we wouldn't be able to afford that next year. So looking at some other big ticket items, that we had worked on last year, but were unsuccessful. Hopefully we can be successful this year. If we want to do that, I would say having this kind of money is an opportunity for us to perhaps make some investments that will be lasting. For example, installing the proper air conditioning in the cafeteria and the auditorium. Those are very expensive propositions, but perhaps using some of that extra money that we have this year for projects like that, which will improve the lives of the students for many years to come, rather than just buying more computers that we don't need. So these are the kinds of things I'd like this team to think about and to grapple with. If there are other things that you would like to see us do or purchase, please let us know. And it's an exciting opportunity for us to do things this year that we don't always have. We have 2 new assistant principals this year. We're going to be starting the C30 process, and certainly members of the school leadership team, if at all possible, you should think about being on the C30 team. Usually there are generally, I want to say 5 to 7 parents on the school leadership team, 3 to 5 teachers, some union representation, and so forth. But we'll be having 2 of those for the 2 assistant principal positions that we have, and those should be coming up in the month of October, certainly early November at the latest. And so if you are interested, think about that. I'll put out an email for those who want to be on the C30 committee. Basically, it's one evening, and we'll meet. We'll discuss questions for the candidates, interview the candidates, and that's pretty much it. It's not particularly stressful, and it can be fun.
Mr. Berman.
Yes, sir.
Where's our current APs headed?
One retired, and so we're replacing that one and adding another.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I've done that before with Leopard's Park, so that's why I asked.
Okay. Yeah, Mrs. McGar retired last year, and so we're replacing her. Mrs. Pissarro is now the facilitator and assistant principal, interim acting assistant principal right now for the Academy for Scientific Research. And Mrs. Gasser, actually, she's recently married. Her married name is Mrs. Seda, is the assistant principal and the facilitator now for Arts and Humanities. Mrs. Forsyth is still an assistant principal here, and she is leading up the special ed department. And Mrs. Siddiqui, of course, continuing with business and law. And yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So it's an exciting year.
I have one question. I'm sorry.
Sure.
Does the school have the capability of, let's say, a child is quarantined, they can just Google, like Zoom into live class instruction?
No.
The school doesn't have that. And is the school interested in like funding something like that, or is that not possible?
Well, yeah, we are interested in that, although there's a couple of things that we're interested in, and I've already met with some of the representatives from CDW. That's one of the DOE's suppliers. They've actually hired an educational specialist to work with schools on not just buying the technology, but how to use it in an educational setting. So one of the biggest issues that we have right now is not so much the streaming, because COVID's not an issue. We don't really have any quarantine kids. And with the changes I'm hoping that we don't have many quarantine kids. So we sort of shifted a little bit from creating a streaming classroom to addressing the primary problem that we're having here in our classrooms now. And that's hearing the kids. It's very, very hard to hear them through the masks. And so what we're looking at is amplifying the sound in the classrooms so that everyone can hear better. There are options that range from around $30 that you can get on Amazon and a teacher can wear around his or her neck and walk around the room, to full classroom solutions that go into the many thousands of dollars for each classroom. I think the answer lies somewhere in between. It's probably not an Amazon hang around your neck solution, but also I don't know that we need to, spend $5,000 on each classroom. I know there are some solutions that we're going to be testing out that look like they're maybe around $1,000 to $1,500 per classroom to be able to amplify and improve the sound. It's a problem. The other problem we have in the class is it's hard for the teachers to get around and see what the kids are doing. With the kids all separated, the classrooms are tight. And it's hard if you're sitting in the back of the classroom for a teacher to see what you're doing. So we're looking at solutions for those things as well. Optimally, the best solution, everybody gets vaccinated, we kick this thing's butt and we get back to normal. That's the best thing. But hopefully that's around the corner. My fingers are crossed that it is. So Q&A time, I think.
Yeah, it's a
Yes,
very,
Mr. File,
very efficient meeting.
Did I pick up on that properly?
Yeah.
All right.
This was a very efficient meeting. We've had much longer meetings for the new people. We did well.
But yeah, so really, I'm happy to entertain any questions or thoughts that people have. And please think about for our next meeting, if there are things that you would like to see on the agenda, please let us know. We can put them on. We'll put those items on the agenda. I know it looks like Ms. Lay sent something about some presentation items. That looks cool. I'm going to check out this stuff. That looks really great. Norway. Cool. But yeah, so if there are things that you'd like to see in the agenda, please email the group, email Mr. File separately, Mrs. Wong, however you'd like. And okay, so you've seen that. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, my school used this amplifier, and without this, the kid cannot hear clearly. So our whole school use this one. I think it's pretty good for the student to hear us.
So where is the microphone?
Microphone. I need to plug in and put in front of my mouth.
Right.
And then we just charge it after the day. We just charge it, and then we can use for the whole day.
And then you put that and you walk around with it?
Yeah, you can put in your ribs, something like this.
Right. Oh, okay.
And in your neck.
And the children can hear it good?
Yeah, let me get let me see, where is it? Oh, here. So we just put it on.
Right.
Let me turn it on. And then children will hear much better, because without it, I don't think they can hear me with the mask on.
But now let me ask you, can you hear them?
I need to go to them and hear them.
See, I want to be able to get something too that will also amplify the students so that everybody can hear everybody, you know, not just one way, that everybody can hear everybody. And I know there's one thing I saw, it has like a speaker and like 12 little things. So you could put it around the desks. But that's also, I think, almost $4,000 for 12. And that's not even enough for the whole class. So
maybe we can ask parents to donate.
well, we asked them for PTA dues, $187. That would be good to start. If they do that, if everybody does that, we don't need any more money. Well, not that we don't need any more money, but if 1,000 people give $187,
I haven't received the letter for PTA due though. Is it
it's
through?
coming.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because last year I remember I paid for it, but I don't remember this year.
It's coming. The envelope is coming. Yeah, yeah. But thank you for sharing that. I'm gonna look, and it looks like they have some other things too, besides the one that you have. Where did you get that from? Did the school buy it for you?
The school buy it for all the teachers.
Gotcha. Very good. Thank you for sharing that. It's good to learn from other places. Great. What else? And does anybody have anything else that they want to share? Otherwise, I guess we can break and, you know, think about some things that you would like to purchase. Think about some things that you would like to set for goals. Think about some activities, perhaps, that you'd like to see. And I want to thank you again for being a part of the team and really for caring about our school.
Yes, thank you everyone for coming. Very
Bye.
good.
Have
Have a great night.
Have a good night.
Thank
Have a
you.
wonderful day,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.